They've kept to the time-honored methods and craftsmanship to make this bourbon. It takes a lot of dedication. We're committed to that, committed to waiting no less than a decade for the bourbon to age properly so it tastes just right. And it's that type of dedication that inspired us to create the Rare Life Award, to honor those who dedicate their lives to helping other people, dedicate their lives to doing the right thing. So tonight, I'm happy to announce the award winner. Over the past year, we've received many nominations for people that have done incredible things, but no one has been nominated that garnered nearly as many votes as our winner tonight. Our winner received over 180,000 votes. Good. That's 9 times more votes than any other. So Ed's got some friends. I'm pleased to announce that the 2012 Rare Life Award goes to Ed Clarke. But before Ed takes the stage, I'd like to show a short video, because Ed really exemplifies what the Rare Life Award is all about, the values and virtues that the Rare Life Award represents, and the work that he's done and the Wildlife Center of Virginia has done to help with wildlife is truly an amazing thing.
When John Kennedy was inaugurated, I was there as a 9-year-old kid, stood on the sidewalk and watched him drive up to take his oath of office. And during his inauguration speech, he asked, "We should ask not what our country can do for us, but think about what we can do for our country." And I was sure as a 9-year-old he was speaking to me. And since that time, really serving the public and making a difference where I can has just been part of who I am. The Wildlife Center was established in 1982. It started off as a very small nonprofit local clinic for wildlife, and today we're one of the leading wildlife hospitals, not only in the United States, but in the entire world. Throughout my whole life, I've held a fascination for wild things and wild places, and as I reached adulthood and found that I could actually give something back and care for the things I love, that's what gets me out of bed every morning. With wild animals, their wildness is not something they learn, it's in them. It's in part of their genes. And to be able to take an injured animal and return it to the wild, able to continue and resume its life as nature intended is something that's very satisfying. The moment those animals realize that they're really free is very special. You can see it, you can recognize it, and you can feel it.
Ed is the co-founder of this organization, but I think he's also, in many ways, the soul of this organization. I think it's his vision from 30 years ago that helped create the center and continually redefines the center.
We believe that we must teach people to care about wildlife before they'll be motivated to actually do the things, the behavior changes that are necessary to care for them. We've treated about 60,000 wild animals, representing nearly 300 species, everything from hummingbirds to black bears and bunnies to bald eagles. But the number of animals we have helped have been many, many times that amount.
There are all kinds of heroes in the world. If he wasn't here doing what he does, along with everyone else at the Wildlife Center of Virginia, a lot of wildlife would be lost.
What has been the key to success is being able to attract a team of professionals that share the passion, share the commitment to making the future a better place in which animals and people can live.
Ed is very devoted to not only the Wildlife Center of Virginia, but to all the staff members that he leads. And I would think that it actually corresponds very closely to his passion for wildlife.
I really believe a good leader is somebody who can motivate people around him, can set an example, and keep them motivated.
He's a visionary. Ed has the ability to see where this organization is and to see the next steps we should take.
It takes a courageous person like Ed in order to go against the grain and fight for what's right for wildlife.
It takes an incredible amount of courage to stand up before Congress and tell them the truth. He is not afraid to speak the truth.
Ed has great integrity and honesty in his approach to the public, in his approach to media, in his approach to donors, in his approach to staff.
He cares so much about what he does, and he makes other people care, and he does it with such integrity.
I have tried, certainly, to exemplify what I believe in. We, as an organization, have tried, again, to exemplify the best in commitment to the standards we espouse and to the threshold of excellence we try to uphold.
Well, Ed is a fitting winner for the Rare Life Award because he has shown tremendous leadership, he has shown great courage and commitment, and he's involved thousands of people in the fight to protect wildlife.
Thanks to his work at the Wildlife Center, he's been able to show people what wildlife conservation really looks like. And all the characteristics that this award exemplifies is something he's been doing for decades.
Well, receiving the Eagle Rare Life Award is gratifying, and it's certainly humbling. The people that felt strongly enough about the quality of my work and perhaps about me as an individual to nominate me and then to vote for me are people who really make me more appreciative than I've ever imagined being. And it's an extremely prestigious award, and really receiving it is it's just humbling to know that people care, and it's motivating to continue to try and make a difference.
Thank you, Chris. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed an honor to be here with you tonight. And first off, I'd like to thank Chris and Eagle Rare for establishing this type of an award to recognize dedicated conservationists and others. And as the folks have mentioned on the video, I mean, this award is so richly deserved. One of my conservation heroes, Aldo Leopold, once said, there are those who can live without wildlife and those who cannot. And clearly, Ed Clarke has always been a person who cannot live without wildlife. I've been privileged to know him for more than 30 years. I remembered when he started the concept, and you talk about visionary, and he is that and so many more things. But it's been a long time since that barn, Ed, that barn out back. And I just want to say that Ed is a person who, Rachel Carson said, the neatest thing anybody could have is a sense of wonder. And Ed not only had a sense of wonder, he kicked that up a notch, as they say. He has this insatiable thirst for knowledge, for advocacy. He has been one of the greatest ambassadors and for wildlife and conservation that I've known in my 40-year career. I'm proud to call him a friend and a colleague. Our collaboration, our collaborative efforts have just enriched my life and my career. And I know that he embraces the tenets of the North American model of wildlife conservation. Having just returned from Africa, I'm sure if he wanted to, he could spend a lot of time telling you about why the North American model for conservation is the best in the world and second to none. He has been such a wonderful advocate, and it is indeed an honor to see him recognized in this fashion. And again, I want to, it's my distinct privilege and pleasure this evening to get to present this award to Ed. And again, this will be the highlight for me. So Ed, if you would please come up and join us. I know he's always been at a loss for words. He can find them pretty fast. But I will tell you, this gentleman has so many talents. He's such a, when I think about what Eagle Rare, the attributes that they were looking for, courage, he's always known where his personal and professional true north is. And he's always been true to his beliefs. He's a person who has the spirit of his convictions. I've seen him in any number of meetings where he has stood tall for wildlife conservation in the State House and elsewhere. And again, this award is richly deserved. And Ed, I am so proud of you and so proud for you. Congratulations, friend.
Thank you. Enough, I'm not at a loss for words.
I knew you would be.
Bob, thank you. I can't tell you how much it means to me to have Bob Duncan here tonight, given the fact that the legislature's in town and he's looking out for his agency and for all the wildlife and wild things and wild places in the Commonwealth, and he's taken time out of his very busy schedule to be here. Thank you, my friend. And Chris, thank you and all of my friends and acquaintances at Eagle Rare for the Rare Life Award. And I've said this many times, and I truly mean this from the bottom of my heart. No great thing is ever done by one person. It truly is always the work of a team, and I'm just blessed to be the leader of what I consider to be the most incredible team of professionals and volunteers anywhere in the world working on behalf of wildlife. We are coming up on the 30th anniversary of the Wildlife Center of Virginia. It started off with 4 volunteers who probably weren't smart enough to know that what they were setting out to do was impossible. So we did it, and here we are, 60,000 animals later, more than 1.5 million children and adults that have been reached with live conservation education programs, and now, good Lord knows how many people online have been reached and who have reached back to let us know that what we're doing matters. We all have a responsibility to make decisions every single day of our lives, and we can have a positive impact on the world or a negative impact on the world. And the fact that we have the potential to have a positive impact also conveys with it the responsibility to have a positive impact. And this award has my name on it, but I don't for an instant delude myself to think that it's because of individual initiative or individual effort. It's because I've been blessed and maybe smart enough to surround myself with smart and capable people and then stand out front and take credit for their work. Or not really, but truthfully, the award is, to me, I mean, it says the Nobel Prize for bourbon drinkers. I mean, and it's so ironic that the Rare Life Award came about because on our moderated chat, and we have 2 of our moderators here, one night, much to the chagrin of one of the 2 moderators, who will remain nameless, Debbie, who is constantly chiding me for speaking of adult beverages in the presence of children. Somebody said, well, here's a toast to your efforts. And I'll raise, and this was a guy in Canada who was one of our regular participants. He said, I'm raising my glass of Canadian whiskey to you. And I said, well, sorry about that, but I'll raise my glass of Eagle Rare back at you. And somebody went on the Eagle Rare website, learned about it, and found out about this award, and made the nomination, and then the people at the time were referred to themselves as Eagle Nation. They went wild. It was like a pack of sharks with blood in the water, and the voting began, and here it is, the proof of their effectiveness. But it's an honor to be here. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. We have an eclectic group of people representing some of our earliest supporters. The old days, there are not very many people in the room who, like Bob Duncan and Jamie Reeser, who remember the barn where we started back in 1982, but by golly, we've come a long way. And on behalf of the team, I will accept this award and thank you all and cherish it deeply. It has been a team effort. Anything worthwhile will continue to be a team effort. I want to thank my wife, Kim, for putting up with me, most of the time, actually, with the demands that the job places, and my daytime wife, Randy Ewa, who actually makes it possible for me to be at the Wildlife Center. When I hired Randy, one of his former employers said, if you're smart enough to listen to him and let him, he's going to make you look good. And I am smart enough, and he does. And my colleagues who are here, my friends from the Wildlife Center, my co-workers, that I will cherish this, but more importantly, I cherish each and every one of you and all you do for me. Thank you so much.